would like to take this opportunity to do a short video for my wife. She had a very awesome dream from the Lord. We believe, we don't want to assume, because assumption is also a sin, but it made a lot of sense, and I thought maybe we would share it as we drop our daughter off to school.
Say hi, Dan.
Say hi, baby. Not me, them. Say hi to the camera. Okay. Now we are ready? Let's go. There's light.
All right, let me see if I can remember most of my dreams. So it started like we're walking down the street. I'm not gonna give you most of the detail. I just want to get to the point. So we were walking down the street with like a group of people, and there was some people I knew, some people I did not know. So it was just it felt like we knew each other. And we were headed somewhere. I don't know where we were going. So we were walking down. It was like a road, and as we were walking, there were I saw Jesus in a BMW to my left. So he came rolling up in a BMW, and right by his car on the other side was another Jesus who was like kind of floating. Parallel to him, it was like at the same time, and then they stopped kind of where we were, and they both came to the group, so they were leading us down this path that was off the paved road, I guess, and they were leading us in the path like in the forest-ish kind of. Maybe that makes sense that they took us off the right path, which was paved. Anyway, I never thought about that. So we were walking down another road. It was like grassy and dirt, like a dirt road, and at first it was so beautiful and everyone was enjoying it. It looked like we were going on a nice hike. And then we got, so it got me thinking, now that we have two Jesuses, it means that, I don't even know if that's a word, it means that at some point we'd have to choose which one we'll need to follow. Now, when I first saw the Jesus in the BMW and the other Jesus and floating, I assumed when I woke up that the one that was kind of floating was the real one and the one in the BMW was the fake Jesus. But in my dream, because I was trying to kind of like justify which Jesus is which, but in my dream the whole time, neither one of those two Jesuses was real. They didn't feel genuinely like real to me, like I've seen Jesus and I know the feeling. Like when you see Jesus in your dream, like they didn't feel real to me. And the one that was floating was always grinning, like I don't know. It wasn't a beautiful smile. It was kind of a grin someone gives you when they do you dirt, kind of. So anyway, we were walking down the path, and I realized we had to choose which kind of Jesus we wanted to go with. But when we got, and as soon as I thought that, two paths appeared, and just as they appeared, both of the Jesuses went to the left, and they went with like a group of people, and I was left with another group of mostly the people that I kind of would remember that I knew in this lifetime, but I can't pick out the faces now. So we decided to use the right path, and then it looked kind of far, so there was a little boy there, and I told the little boy, how about you go on the path and see if you can find anybody, and make sure that we are going on the right path, because we don't want to go on this path and find out that everybody went on this other path, even though I knew that most of the people went on this other path. So he walks like a few distances, and he sees my brother, my twin brother, and even though I didn't see his face, my twin's face, I knew it was him, because all I could see was from like the shoulder down. And he was on a cliff, and he was kind of he kind of like motioned for us to use to climb on the cliff. I don't know if this makes sense. Dreams don't make sense. He motioned us to climb on the cliff, and so he helped the little boy climb the cliff, and they went together. And so I kind of helped everybody else climb the cliff to go on the path. And just when it was my turn to climb, because I was the last person, everybody had gone ahead and I was left behind. I saw an old woman, and she 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 was kind of like she wanted to go on that path, so the decent thing to do was to help her climb the cliff because she couldn't do it by herself. And as soon I was trying to help her up, she kind of hesitated, and she was like, I think I'm gonna need a ladder. And as soon as she said that, another woman came from it. Just all of a sudden, the whole thing became like a house. And this woman opened the door and came in, and she felt like she was the manager of that house. And the old lady asked her, can I use the stairs? Can I use like a little ladder stairs? And the lady was like, yeah. She opened this closet, got the ladder out, gave it to the old lady, and the old lady climbed. And just as she got to the cliff, the woman, the manager, told her, she kind of made her feel like this wasn't her path because she was old and she couldn't manage to do stuff like that, and she was gonna make fire. She was gonna make sure that she didn't get to the end of the path. And she left. I'm not go into details about that. There's more to that. And then so the old lady didn't care, so she continued to the path. So it was my turn. I climbed the path. I climbed the cliff, and I went. It was like the path felt like we were going upstairs, and we opened the door. We got into this other room. No, it was just me. And when I opened the door to this other room, there was like two teenage boys, one in this room and another one in another room. The other one in the other room was like watching TV and playing video games, but they were eating some kind of pancakes. And then there was another one in this room. He was just sitting somewhere eating pancakes. They looked like maybe they were like 13 or 12 years old. And then I came in. Like when you get up there, you have to make your own pancakes with this kind of like really, I don't know what the kind of tools they were. Ancient tools. It's like a weird, I don't know how to explain it. You use it, you make a small pancake first, and then you make a big pancake, and then you're supposed to put syrup on it and eat it. Like that was your kind of reward of getting to that room. And so I remember I was eating. I might have made my own pancakes and ate them. I'm not sure. So anyway, that's when my alarm rang and I woke up. And the first thing I thought was I took the wrong path. Because you're not supposed, like, the paths, it just didn't feel like we took the right path. Like we should have, now that I think about it, we were on the right path to begin with. We were on the paved path. And we got off course when these two types of Jesuses were leading us astray. Now, the first Jesus and the BMW, that's the flashy church.
That's the kind of Jesus we
worship. That's the kind of Jesus we worship.
We believe he's a God of wealth and all that.
Yeah, and that was the significance of the Jesus and the BMW. You can correct me if you're wrong. If you're led by the Holy Spirit to interpret my dream, maybe you can can tell me. The second Jesus was the Jesus every other Christian believes in. They don't want to go to the church that is flashy, and they don't want to. They're not in a very big mega church, but the churches they're in that they think they're following the right Jesus, they're still the humble, the quiet, the poor Jesus.
The poor Jesus, yeah.
It's still not the right kind.
Because both of them, you mentioned that both of them, at one point when you came to the fork, two of the Jesuses and a group of some people went to the left, and there was another path.
Yeah.
There was two paths, one
Yeah.
to the left, one to the right.
So they both went on the path and they were inseparable. That's one thing. They looked like they were like great friends. Even when they were leading us down the path, they were talking by themselves. We were just following them. They were in unison together. And it's like, I mean, when I wanted to justify that one of them was right, but it's just kind of like one, it's just like they felt like they were twins and they were on a mission, and it's like they were just deceiving us in different ways. I don't know if you get that. So the path that we were on the paved, this I never even thought about it. The path that we were on that was paved was the path that was the right path to begin with. We had just stayed on the path.
We just started off right.
We started off right.
It's the end that really counted.
Yeah, and the reason we were led this in the dirt road is because we thought what was Jesus, and we followed him. You know, I don't even think they talked to us in any kind of way or tried to show us which path was the right way. We just was following them like blind sheep. So yeah, that was my dream. It's still like every time I talk about it, I figure out a clue. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and it makes a whole lot of sense because again, the Bible says Satan being can come in as an angel of light. He can also come in as a sheep, but he's still a wolf inside. He's still darkness inside. So it doesn't matter how you see. If you see Christ, how you see Christ, he can come in that way because that's how you see it. If you see Christ as this guy in a BMW, a flashy Christ with wealth and doing well, and your interpretation of Christianity is about wealth and being wealthy, he can come in that form and deceive you. And that's why I'll be doing a video soon, just to cut you off, talk about the importance of being born again, and being born again not being enough. There's also the importance of being filled with the Holy Spirit, because so many of us Christians are born again but are not filled with the Holy Spirit. So it's almost impossible to walk the walk that Jesus walked, because you have to remember Jesus was also filled with the Holy Spirit. And that's why he was able to do the many things that he did that we are not able to do even now. So anyway, we'll continue with this video in a while. We're just going to drop off Adelia. Then we come back.